Hello there, welcome to Murales Cuisine, and this is Shika doing the narration. Today we're making okra soup. This recipe is overkill, but before we start, let's run the introduction. So first off, I'll be using my already folded cling film. I wrap it around my finger to make sure my finger is secured because my finger is about to be a chopping surface. Also, I like using the cling film because I don't have to tie it, and after just wrapping it, it just sticks like so. There are different ways of cutting okra. Some people like their okra grated, others like it blended. Some like it in semicircle. However, I like mine in full circles and in quarter cuts. However you like your okra, don't feel judged. Just do you and you'll be fine. I'm running my knife through the okra to help reduce all the bigger portions I overlooked whilst cutting. This also helps it to cook evenly and faster. You can add onions to your okra before or during the steaming process. I'm adding 2 cups of water to my pot, and then I'll throw in my okra, and I'll be using Grain of Selim. That is winter. Now, I'm using the Grain of Selim because I want to build flavor while steaming my okra. So once we have the okra steaming, let's talk about the ingredients. I have my Akosombo fish, that's smoked fish, and then I have my goat meat and some fresh shrimps. I have pepper, Adobo, blended smoked shrimps. Sounds a lot. I have my spice mix. The spice mix has ginger, cloves, anise, rosemary, and some onions. This is cured fish, also known as momone, and I have salt. I have tomatoes, my blended Jamaican pepper, ginger, shrimp cubes, Grain of Selim, also known as hointia, and spinach. Now, let's get back to steaming our stuff. I'll add my meat to a pot, and then I'll add 1 tablespoon of ginger and 3 tablespoons of my spice. Then I'll add 2 teaspoons of Jamaican pepper and then 1 teaspoon of powdered chili. Remember, the chili is so optional. I'll also add some cube to taste. Then I'll add some adobo in place of the salt. I'm steaming the shrimp separately because it helps it to build its own flavor. I don't want to add the shrimp to the pot of meat and have my meat tasting like shrimp and have my shrimp tasting like meat, so that's what I'm doing. I'll add 2 teaspoons of the spice mix, then onion and ginger, and then allow it to steam. Add a 1/4 cup of palm oil to my saucepan, and then I'll put in my cured fish. I'll now stir till everything disintegrates. I'll be adding the rest of my spice now. I'll put the measurements below. I'll also add tomatoes. I'm just using 1 blended tomato, so then I'll stir, and I'll add my Jamaican pepper. Okay, just to make it spicy, because I'm not using any dried pepper or anything like that. I'm just sticking to my Jamaican pepper. I'm going to add my dried blended shrimp. Okay, this you could add it in powdered form or in paste form, like what I'm doing now. Remember, the shrimp makes your soup have a very popping, distinctive taste. Like, it makes it delicious. If you have a mother-in-law that you want to impress, I mean, this is the go-to recipe. I'm going to beat up my okra to make it more slimy, okay? And then that will also reduce the time it stays on fire. So just beat it up like an egg till it becomes slimy, okay? So now that we have our base ready, we'll add the okra. Do not use too much tomatoes because the tomatoes end up cutting the slime. You have to work very fast after you put in the okra, because remember, okra is a vegetable. You don't want to overcook your vegetables. So I add my stock and then my shrimp to taste. Then I'll just drop my fresh shrimps. Now I'm using the fresh shrimps in place of crab or snail because I don't have any here. Now I add my goat meat. Okay, I'm adding my goat meat and I'll stir in. Okay, I'll just go on with my smoked fish. This is the kind of soup you do on a weekend, on a holiday, on an occasion to please someone and to tell them through your food that you can cook. So I'm just going to put in a little bit of palm oil just to garnish it. And then I'll put in my spinach. Now the reason why I didn't put in my spinach before the oil is I do not want to overcook it. Right after I put in my spinach, I know that I have less than a minute to just end my dish. So yeah, I just nudge it in a little bit just to make the heat cook it up, and then just go. I would also garnish it with red and green Jamaican pepper. I put in this kind of peppers because whoever wants their soup spicy can just break it into the soup, and whoever doesn't can just take it out. So you give people the option. Even though you're making something for the family, you give them options. Okay, so my soup is ready and I'm going to serve it with some banku. Now, if you like this video, please subscribe for more recipes. See you next week. Bye.